The judge indicated late this morning that unforeseen circumstances required that they take their lunch break early this day. There was no explanation as to why, but then the judge could be heard discussing whether or not a nurse should be contacted. Earlier, a member of the Pittsburgh Police SWAT team testified as jurors got their first view of some extremely graphic photos of the bodies of victims taken at the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting crime scene. Pittsburgh police officer Michael Salduti testified as he entered the synagogue building. He continued to come across bodies of victims in pools of blood. His testimony descriptions were accompanied by evidence photos. They're extremely graphic, including those images of bodies of victims and blood. Judge Robert Colville explained to the jury they should not let the photos stir their emotions, either to the prejudice of Bowers, the prosecution, or anyone else. He cautioned observers in the courtroom that the photos could be emotionally moving, but he asked them not to display reactions in the courtroom. Salduti described how he and the SWAT team advanced, communicating the locations of the dead and coordinating the rescue of living victims that they encountered. Salduti recounted their entering a darkened room with a fellow SWAT officer, Tim Matson. He said Matson hit the ground. He saw Matson being shot. Salduti dove in front of the other SWAT officer, using his own body armor to try to shield the wounded officer. Salduti said he could hear gunfire and see muzzle flashes moving across the darkened room. Then, he said, he ran out of ammunition with his fellow officer wounded. He said running out of ammo in that moment was one of the worst experiences of his life. Now, before today's testimony, the defense had renewed its objection to the prosecution introducing graphic and sensitive crime scene photos of the victims. It was also asking the court to limit the prosecution to showing not more than one crime scene photo per victim. Prosecutor Sue Song says the images show the identity of the victims and their final movements and resting place when they were killed, and are necessary for firearms expert testimony that will come. The prosecution also said that part of the reason why there are so many such photos is because the defendant killed 11 people. With that early break, they expect to resume testimony at 12:45. Reporting live at the federal courthouse in downtown Pittsburgh, Bob Mayo, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.